Love the Ravens as much as we do? Then smash that subscribe button and stay locked in with Flock News for all the drama, updates, and excitement all season long. The news shaking the NFL world is nothing short of explosive. The Baltimore Ravens have reportedly reached an agreement to bring Chase Young into their defensive fold. And the ripple effects of this move are already sending shockwaves through the league. Rumors suggest that the front office has been quietly orchestrating this acquisition for weeks, identifying Young not just as a game-changing defensive end, but as the ultimate disruptor to rival offenses. Sources hint at a substantial contract that aligns with Young's reputation, and whispers in the locker room indicate that this move is part of a larger strategy to redefine Baltimore's defensive identity. The mere thought of pairing Young's elite pass-rushing abilities with the Ravens' already formidable front seven has offensive coordinators across the league reevaluating their entire approach. Coaches who once felt confident in their playbooks now face sleepless nights, imagining how Young's speed, power, and relentless pursuit could dismantle protections and force quarterbacks into hurried decisions. Analysts are speculating about potential shifts in defensive schemes, and fans are buzzing about the possible immediate impact, painting a picture of a defense capable of rewriting game scripts with every snap. Even casual observers are intrigued by the narrative. Baltimore, known for its defensive prowess, may have just entered a new era of dominance that could redefine how opponents prepare for them. The excitement and anticipation are palpable, leaving everyone wondering if this is the beginning of a defensive revolution. The chatter doesn't stop there, as whispers in sports media circles suggest that Young's arrival could trigger a domino effect of offensive anxiety that no team wants to face. Imagine the offensive line scrambling, quarterbacks feeling pressure almost instantly, and running backs facing an unpredictable wall of strength and agility. The Ravens appear to be cultivating not just a team, but an aura of intimidation, signaling that any opponent stepping onto their field will face chaos orchestrated by a player whose name alone carries weight in locker rooms and boardrooms alike. Conversations among fans on social media are overflowing with scenarios of Young penetrating backfields, altering plays before they even develop, and the speculation is fueling a narrative that feels almost cinematic in scale. Observers are debating how his presence could change matchups week after week, creating nightmares for coaches who must account for his explosive athleticism. The Ravens' front office seems to be positioning themselves strategically, ensuring that Young's skill set integrates seamlessly with their existing roster while maximizing disruption against key divisional rivals. This is more than a signing, it's a psychological maneuver, a subtle but powerful message to the entire league that Baltimore intends to dominate, both physically and mentally. Even rival fans are grudgingly acknowledging that Young's inclusion could transform the Ravens into a defensive juggernaut capable of dictating the flow of games. And the ripple effect of this development is only beginning to be felt. Analysts and insiders alike are now speculating about how opposing teams will adjust, and whether this move might spark a series of counter-signings and defensive reinforcements across the league, creating a season defined by strategic reactions to Baltimore's newfound power. Insiders report that the anticipation surrounding Young's debut has created a fever pitch of speculation about his role in defensive rotations and his immediate chemistry with the Ravens' core players. Coaches, scouts, and even retired legends are weighing in on the potential of his impact, suggesting that his versatility allows him to line up in multiple positions, forcing offenses to constantly readjust. The narrative circulating in expert circles is that Young is not just a disruptor, but a catalyst capable of inspiring teammates to elevate their performance. There's a growing consensus that his presence could change not only game plans, but also the mental framework of the Ravens' defense, instilling a level of confidence and aggression rarely seen. Rumors indicate that the team's defensive coordinator has been redesigning schemes to leverage Young's strengths with a focus on speed, leverage, and unpredictability, hinting at a season where chaos becomes a strategic weapon. Fans are engaging in heated debates about which offensive lines will crack first and how quarterbacks will adapt under relentless pressure, creating a social media frenzy that only amplifies the perception of Baltimore as a force to be reckoned with. Analysts are hypothesizing about statistical surges in sacks, tackles for loss, and forced turnovers, imagining the quantifiable devastation Young could unleash, while also emphasizing the psychological toll on opposing offenses. The atmosphere is electric, with every conversation about the Ravens tinged with uncertainty from rivals and excitement from supporters, as whispers of training camp performances circulate, speculation grows that Young's integration could accelerate, potentially redefining defensive dominance and compelling teams to rethink their offensive philosophies entirely, marking the beginning of a narrative that will dominate headlines for weeks. Rumors also suggest that Young's influence could extend beyond individual plays, affecting team culture and locker room dynamics in profound ways. Teammates are reportedly energized by the prospect of working alongside a talent of his caliber, and there's talk of increased competitiveness during practice sessions, with younger players eager to learn from his intensity and professionalism. The narrative circulating among insiders frames Young not just as a player, but as a symbolic statement about Baltimore's intentions, a commitment to relentless pressure, calculated aggression, and mental fortitude. Analysts speculate that his presence could inspire a defensive renaissance, elevating players who were already solid to new heights and creating a cohesive unit that thrives on chaos. The rumor mill hints at potential adjustments in defensive calls, blitz packages, and gap assignments designed to exploit Young's unique skill set, suggesting a season of creativity and unpredictability for opposing offenses. Fans are theorizing endlessly about the potential for highlight reel plays, game-altering moments, and an overall sense of awe when watching him in action. The excitement is compounded by chatter about how rival quarterbacks might adjust their timing, decision-making, and risk tolerance, painting a picture of a league-wide ripple effect caused by a single, transformative signing. The speculation reaches beyond traditional analysis, delving into psychological warfare, game theory, and the broader narrative of football as a chessboard where the Ravens have just placed a king, capable of redefining strategy. Social media commentary ranges from detailed breakdowns of Young's mechanics to imaginative scenarios of absolute offensive collapse, amplifying the sense of chaos and inevitability surrounding Baltimore's defensive evolution. This layer of anticipation transforms each discussion into a spectacle as fans, pundits, and rival insiders alike attempt to decode the potential ramifications of this monumental acquisition. Even the language used in media coverage reflects the heightened drama surrounding Young's addition, with adjectives like game-changing, unstoppable, and fear-inducing becoming commonplace in discussions about Baltimore's prospects. The rumor mill emphasizes not only the physical attributes that Young brings to the field, but also the psychological edge that accompanies his reputation, a dual threat that opponents must contend with at every level. Commentary suggests that offensive coordinators are now designing schemes with contingency plans, specifically for his presence, and that snap counts, protection schemes, and motion designs are being recalibrated in response to what some describe as inevitable disruption. The intensity of speculation has fueled debates over whether this signing could tilt divisional power balances, with fans analyzing historical data, athletic metrics, and even anecdotal tendencies of quarterbacks under duress. Whispers hint at training camp dynamics, practice matchups, and early season adjustments as critical to integrating Young seamlessly, with an eye toward maximizing chaos without compromising team discipline. The intrigue extends beyond Baltimore's own field, as media outlets suggest that rival teams may feel compelled to accelerate their own roster moves, creating a domino effect of strategic reactions. Social media amplifies this narrative, where memes, hot takes, and analysis collide to create a sense of collective anticipation, portraying Young's impact as both immediate and far-reaching. Observers are theorizing about weeks when opposing offenses might crumble under pressure, envisioning a landscape where chaos is the default reaction to Baltimore's defensive schemes, and where Young serves as the epicenter of unpredictability and disruption. Finally, speculation regarding the financial and contractual implications adds yet another layer of intrigue. Rumors suggest that the structure of Young's deal is designed to incentivize peak performance, while aligning with the Ravens' long-term defensive vision, creating a win-win scenario that maximizes both talent utilization and salary cap efficiency. Insiders hint at bonuses tied to sacks, forced fumbles, and other disruptive plays, emphasizing that the front office is investing not only in potential but in measurable chaos that can be translated into wins. Analysts debate whether this strategic allocation of resources represents a broader philosophy of prioritizing defensive dominance over flashy offensive acquisitions, and whether Young's presence signals a shift in Baltimore's identity toward calculated aggression and psychological warfare. The chatter in fan communities revolves around projections, rival matchups, and speculative league-wide consequences, with every tweet, podcast, and forum thread dissecting The possible outcomes of this acquisition, even those outside the Ravens fan base, are drawn into the narrative, compelled by the magnitude of Young's talent and the strategic audacity of Baltimore's front office. This layer of rumor and anticipation sets the stage for a season where speculation and reality might collide spectacularly, creating a story arc that could define the narrative of the league, positioning the Ravens as not only a defensive powerhouse but a master of orchestrated chaos that opponents may struggle to comprehend or counteract effectively. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. As the speculation continues, whispers suggest that the ripple effect of Chase Young's arrival in Baltimore may extend far beyond the defensive line. Rivals are reportedly reconsidering entire offensive philosophies, imagining game plans where the quarterback is under constant duress. Offensive linemen are scrambling to pick up assignments, and running backs are forced into hurried decisions. The rumor mill is abuzz with potential domino effects, as coaches contemplate shifting personnel, adopting quicker release strategies, or even completely altering schemes to mitigate Young's influence. Fans are theorizing about how rival quarterbacks might adjust their reads, anticipating chaos on every snap, while offensive coordinators are described in hushed tones as feverishly drafting contingency plans. Observers are fascinated by the psychological component. Young's mere presence is said to instill hesitation in opponents, turning split-second decisions into high-stakes gambles. Analysts speculate that this could create a league-wide shift, compelling other teams to reinforce their offensive lines, adjust tempo, or even pursue defensive countermeasures, all in response to a single player. Social media buzzes with hypothetical scenarios, play-by-play breakdowns, and animated debates about the potential havoc he could unleash, further fueling the narrative that the Ravens may be on the verge of a season defined not by incremental gains but by outright disruption. The excitement is not just about his physical ability, but about the strategic reverberations that might cascade through every team on their schedule. Inside the Ravens organization, rumors hint at an unprecedented integration process designed to maximize Young's effectiveness without sacrificing cohesion. Coaches are reportedly running specialized drills, experimenting with alignment shifts, and testing new blitz packages, all centered around creating maximum pressure and confusion for opposing offenses. Insiders suggest that veteran players are mentoring younger teammates, emphasizing the importance of anticipation, timing, and adaptability when paired with a talent like Young. Speculation in the media revolves around how these internal dynamics could translate to game-day dominance, as the team reportedly practices scenarios where Young's speed and power are leveraged to collapse pockets and disrupt timing patterns. Analysts speculate about a rising trend of turnovers, erratic quarterback behavior, and forced adjustments, suggesting that Young's presence may redefine statistical expectations for the Ravens' defense. Fans are endlessly debating which offensive lines will break first, which quarterbacks will struggle under pressure, and whether certain running backs will have to adapt or risk being consistently tackled behind the line. The rumor continues to grow, painting a picture of a team not just preparing to win, but cultivating an aura of inevitability, where chaos becomes a deliberate weapon and every snap carries the potential for game-altering disruption. This layer of speculation ensures that every conversation, broadcast, and social media post surrounding Baltimore is tinged with anticipation, fear, and excitement. Talk of Young's impact has spilled into projections for the wider league, with whispers suggesting that teams may begin to prioritize defensive acquisitions in a bid to counter Baltimore's potential dominance. Analysts speculate that other franchises may accelerate signing defensive stars, increase investment in pass rush training, or adopt new schematics to mitigate the anticipated chaos. Fans are theorizing endlessly about matchups where Young's speed and power could create mismatches, potentially forcing quarterbacks to make riskier throws or abandon their standard timing. Coaches are reportedly contemplating a range of adjustments, from quick-release passing schemes to max protection packages, all in response to the specter of a Ravens front line led by Young. The rumor mill paints an almost cinematic scenario. Baltimore is a strategic powerhouse, orchestrating chaos while opponents scramble to react. Social media commentary reflects a mix of admiration, anxiety, and intrigue, with supporters predicting highlight reel plays and skeptics questioning whether any offensive line can withstand the pressure. Analysts suggest that the psychological effect on opposing teams could be as significant as the physical, creating hesitation, miscommunication, and errors that multiply the tangible impact of Young's presence. Conversations about the Ravens now include speculation about momentum swings, momentum control, and the inevitability of disruption, further cementing the narrative that this signing may redefine defensive dominance across the league. The intrigue surrounding Young is not just immediate, but projected to influence the NFL landscape for months as every team contemplates how to survive the chaos he is rumored to bring. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.